Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Keep your eyes on the radar and watching the potential of more flash flooding and flooding heading into the weekend. Some of our western areas, Huntington included in this too, a flood watch starts at 2 o'clock this afternoon, lasts until 11 a.m. Saturday. Multiple rounds of showers and storms associated with increasing heavier moisture and a cold front becoming near stationary. Total forecast rainfall through the weekend here in that 1 to 2 inch range with locally higher amounts that are possible. Later today and tonight, we are in a marginal to slight risk of excessive rain for that flash flood potential. There's also a marginal risk of isolated severe storms, isolated damaging winds. So again, the ground may already be up to saturated for multiple areas with all the rounds of previous rain this month. So the ground may be compromised, so damaging winds on top of trees may more easily cause some wind damage, so keep eyes on that too. High of 83 yesterday. We got some showers, potential thunder out the door this morning. The front's here, so likely chances of rain today, tonight, Saturday night, ending sometime on Sunday, and then the high heat concerns next week. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Atlanta, 89 today, 92 tomorrow. Watching for chances of showers and storms. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 80. Likely chance of showers and storms to the east. Heating up in the eastern Panhandle areas, potentially up to 90 out there. Likely chances of showers, highs in the ranks, mostly the 80s, and to the south. Again, areas to the west in Huntington already have a flood watch, watching for that potential of flooding. Risk of flooding and flash flooding through the weekend with increasing heat and humidity. Then a warm front powers through and lesser chances of rain and increasing heat. Some near daily warm record lows in the 70s next week, major to extreme heat risks, highs in mid-90s to maybe approaching 100 degrees by the middle of the week.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
More on the conversation regarding public education funding. Is it the funding formula? Are we missing something in this conversation? We will discuss later on. Brad McElhenney stops by. And a couple of wins for the Trump administration coming from the U.S. Supreme Court. It's MetroNews Talkline. We're underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the Metro News Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is Metro News Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set line up link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Made it to a Friday, Steam Release Friday. That's coming up about 90 minutes from now. Say good morning to all of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. We appreciate you, of course. And if you're watching on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live, well, we appreciate you as well. You can be part of the show. Give us a call, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Text me at 304-TALK-304. Keep those numbers on speed dial, if that's still a thing. Steam Release coming up 11:33 this morning. Lots to get to prior to that. Jared Halpern, Brad McElhenney, and your calls and text while we can have a dialogue this morning. Say good morning, TJ Meadows in the Charleston Encova Insurance Studios. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. It is wonderful to be an American. It's wonderful to be a West Virginian. It's wonderful to be a capitalist. It's a great day.
Unless you live in California, but that's a whole other story.
I don't live in California, nor do I plan to anytime soon.
Do like this optimistic TJ. I like it. Missed Positivity Friday.
Well, there's a misconception about me. I'm really a positive person, but I'm also kind of like a Boy Scout. If you know a problem is there, don't wait for it to roll you over like a steamroller. Fix it before it gets to you. You can be both. You can be both, and that's all I'm trying to prove.
800-765-TALKS, the phone number. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line. Spent a pretty good portion yesterday. In fact, we brought on all of the Capitol reporters yesterday. Well, not all of them, at least three of them. Brad McElhenney, Amelia Nicely, and Steve Adams joined us for a conversation regarding public education funding because State School Board President Paul Hardesty spoke to reporters earlier this week, kind of sounding the alarm, saying, hey, look, we've got to address this problem. We've already closed the schools we thought we were going to in the 10-year plan. We're already only 6 years into that. We could see another 8 to 10 closures in the coming year, maybe more in the next couple of years. We've got to do something. Well, someone who's been trying to do something for a couple of years now is the current Senate Education Committee Chair, Mason County Senator Amy Nicole Grady, who joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Senator, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Dave and PJ. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We appreciate you coming on. So, first of all, what was your takeaway? You saw Paul Hardesty's comments about the school aid formula, about having to address this problem. What was your takeaway?
Well, it's nothing new. It's something we have discussed for at least 3 years now, knowing that we need to move forward and change that formula in some way. But how we change it, that's the challenge, because I know you guys know it's a 7-step formula, but it is very much not simplified. We need to make sure that what we do changes it for the better for every county. And that's the challenge, is we have so many counties in our state, and each one has its own types of problems. And so I think that's where we're at. But yeah, no, Paul and I have had these conversations on our own about the issues. It was not surprising to me to see him sound the alarm, so to speak. So it was something that I feel like you can feel his frustration come from his comments.
So you've been trying to do something. Amy, I'm going to shoot you straight, as I always do. I come from a business background. This kind of problem, if we'd been talking about it for 3 years, I would have been fired. And I'm not saying you should be fired, because you've been trying to do something about it. But a lot of your colleagues seem to be doing nothing. What is it going to take to get people in gear over this?
I think part of the problem, TJ, is that, we all represent certain districts, right? And so a lot of times it's hard for us to see outside of what our own needs in our own district are. The needs of Mingo County are completely different than the needs for Berkeley County. And so I think we really have to start looking at it on a broader scale and understanding what other places need, not only what our district needs. And we are elected to represent our districts, but we also are elected to represent the entire state of West Virginia. And this is an issue that is a problem for the entire state of West Virginia. I think we really need to make sure we're having those conversations with our local board members and our local school administrators, because those are the people who can tell you the problems from the inside out. We had the House spent $114,000 on a RAND report last year. We didn't need that. All you need to do is have conversations with teachers, school administrators, and they'll tell you what the issues are and where we need to fix them. Now, the mistrust there, I don't know if that's an issue, to think that they are blowing it out of proportion, but I can tell you right now they're not. We really need to open our ears and make sure that we're just listening to people on a local level.
Senator Amy Grady joining us here, MetroNews Talkline, Senate Education Committee Chair. Are we conflating issues because we have the school aid formula, state school aid formula, which I think everybody there's a consensus there, or seems like it's not working. But we also have the issue of closing schools, consolidating schools. And Amy, I don't know that refixing or reworking the formula would fix the problem of closing schools across the state. Are we conflating these two issues and kind of just lumping it all together?
I think we are. I think there's more than two issues that we're lumping together. But, a lot of these schools that are closing, let's think about this, probably 10, 12 years ago, they knew they were going to close, right? So I think a lot of the problem is we have local board members and others who have to make difficult decisions. Sometimes it's easier to make an easy decision, right? Whenever you know there's a school that needs to be closed, but it's really hard to do because that's cutting jobs, that's moving kids, that's closing a community school. And 10 or 12 years ago, it was probably seen that these schools are going to close, and they've tried to keep them open, and then finally it's come to a head where you have to close it. So I don't think this is something that's a direct result of the funding formula, but more of decisions made by local boards in the past to keep things open when really it didn't make any sense fiscally to keep them open. And so I think we're seeing that all come to a head now, and it seems like it's a one-thing issue, but it's not.
When I look at the text line, when I see comments on social media, there seems to be a bent from some folks, not all, that, look, other counties should help me out. The state should help me out. I understand that sentiment, but would you agree with me that each county school system has to be self-sustaining and live within its own means?
I 100% agree. We often look at that and say, that we need a bailout, and because in our Constitution it says that we have to have an equitable funded education, right, for each of our students or each of our counties. However, when you look at that, the local districts have a responsibility on their own, and we're constantly hearing, let's leave things up to the local districts, right? We want to make sure that local control. We hear that all the time in Charleston. We hear it from our constituents. And in order to do that, though, we have to make sure that they're accountable and that they take on the responsibility of making sure that they have that control, but they're also doing it responsibly. But, it's like I said, it's not a one-size-fits-all. We have 55 counties. Each one is vastly different. And to use a funding formula that treats each one the same isn't fair to anyone.
Senator Amy Grady joining us, Senate Education Committee Chairman. Amy, counties are responsible. They have local control. They have their boards of education, but there are a whole lot of mandates the legislature, current and past legislatures, have passed and approved and said, you have to do these things. And, oh, by the way, we're not sure how you're going to fund it, but you have to do these things. How much responsibility does the legislature bear in all of this?
Right, and that's a fair comment. There are fixed costs that don't go away. We're constantly looking at like enrollment numbers and how a decline in enrollment is a decline in funding, but we still have in state code, we have positions that are required. We have fixed costs that these counties still have to maintain, regardless of how many students they have. So, we've got that code book that's 1,300 pages that I really think we need to start looking at how we can repeal a lot of that. And many of those things in code were in code before any of the people that are in the legislature now are in there. So it doesn't fall on the shoulders of just those of us that are serving now, but it is something we really have to take a look at and say, what can we get rid of? You know what I've said in the past, that I wish we would go with even years and odd years in the legislature. On odd years, all we do is repeal laws, and you can only introduce 10 or 15 new laws. And then on even years, we can introduce. And, I wish we would put more focus on repealing things, not only in education, but other places as well, as we do on introducing and piling on more. I think it could make a huge difference.
Paul Hardesty has told me that as much as he would like to believe this can be worked out with the legislature, that ultimately we may see litigation. A party may come forward, as it did way back when, that generated the REC decision. Do you have confidence that the legislature can fix this before litigation begins, or no?
I think, TJ, that I know it feels like it's been slow moving, but I have seen a lot of education taking place in the Capitol in the last 3 or 4 years. I know I've made it a goal of mine to make sure that my fellow senators are educated on what it's like from the inside as a public school teacher. And I've seen a huge shift in just the mindset there. And I think we're getting there, but I think part of the problem is, is that there's a huge turnover rate in the House. They have to run for re-election every 2 years, and it seems like half the body is different. And so by the time you get people to understand, then you have 50 more members that you have to educate again. And so I do think that we can get there. We need to do it sooner rather than later. That's the problem, is it's taken too long. I think the goal is there. Everybody understands that there is a need, but how everybody sees that need is different. And that's the biggest problem, is we need to get everybody on the same page. And
TJ and Amy, went down a little bit of a rabbit hole yesterday, and this may be a little bit of a broad oversimplification, but it seems like when it comes to whether it's school funding or our school system, it takes an event to force the legislator to make change. It was the Great Depression that gave us the county districts rather than all these different little rural districts. There was desegregation. There was the REC decision that had these big shifts in how we fund and how we look at education. Maybe this is the big shift here that prompts some sort of change, whether it's school aid formula or how we structure the school districts in West Virginia. Maybe this is that big momentum shift to get this thing going, Amy.
You know, I think you're right. I think often, and it's not just education, but a lot of times we sit back and wait until something big happens and then realize, well, shoot, we've got to do something about it, right? And so I'm a firm believer in whatever gets anybody moving, right? But I wish that people would understand that, you know, and I know Paul Hardesty, his heart is in the right place, and we've had these discussions a lot, but I wish people would understand they tend to get frustrated with him and how he blasts the legislature, but people need to understand that it's come to a point where, you know, he's been trying to get people to listen, and he feels like nobody is, and so he feels like he's grasping at straws, and the last stop is to blast the legislature and say they're not doing anything about it when he has tried to get help as much as he can. And you know, and I feel that, and I think that we need to realize that when we're passionate about something, we get easily frustrated, and it's easy to say, you know, I've done everything I can, but I'm not getting anybody to listen. And I want everyone to know that there are people listening, and we're trying to come up with a solution, getting everybody on the same page. And I don't know how if anybody knows, but getting 134 members of the legislature all to think the same way is a very difficult task. And so, you know, it's typically we only need half of that, but it's very, very difficult. And this is something that's big that really takes a lot of thinking, and it can require a lot of hard, difficult decisions. And you also have that model of self-preservation. You know, a lot of people are thinking, this is hard for me to make this decision. I don't want to make this decision because it could mean my seat. But when it's the right thing, it's the right thing regardless.
So here comes pessimist TJ. I'm putting that hat back on.
I thought Positivity Friday, TJ.
Well, yeah, look, I'm more like a Boy Scout, I say. I see a problem. I want to fix it before it hits me. Gotcha. And I just got updated numbers, and I have to tell you, I look at these things, and I look specifically at percent of net unrestricted fund balances to the approved levy estimate in these counties. Translation margin. How much free money they have. We've got 10, 12 counties I'm looking at that, I mean, some of these are less than single digits. Some of these are operating on a margin of 1%. They are one huge issue away from insolvency. And if that doesn't get the legislature's attention, I don't know what will, frankly.
And a lot of those issues, and I know we talked about this a lot last legislative session, this past legislative session, but a lot of those issues can go straight to special education funding. I know we talked a lot about that, but I know a lot of those counties are, you know, $20-30 million in the red when it comes to special education. And so that's something I think is a good starting spot where we need to really look at. I know we had a small bill last year that didn't really take care of it. It was kind of an effort of good faith to say, hey, we see you and we're going to try to help. But that's something I'd like to tackle and make sure we get taken care of this year. I think it could truly, truly free up some money of their local money that they're using for special education services when they get money from the state instead. I think that it would help.
Amy Grady, Senate Education Committee Chair, Mason County Senator. Always appreciate the perspective. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you, gentlemen.
Absolutely. Coming up, we'll get some of your texts, 304-TALK 304. Brad McElhenney will stop by. PEIA. I know. Not the most exciting topic, but when things are going decently, we got to highlight it. That'll be coming up bottom of the hour. Brad McElhenney stops by. Jared Halpern at 11:06. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Building a stronger West Virginia isn't just a dream, it's a mission. The High Technology Foundation knows economic diversity is the key. For over 30 years, they've been dedicated to transforming the state's economic landscape. Conveniently located in the heart of West Virginia, innovation, growth, opportunity, all under one roof. There's no need to look far for change. It's happening right here at the High Technology Foundation in North Central West Virginia. Visit WVHTF.org to learn more.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that they didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on MetroNews Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. 800-765-8255 the phone number. I just saw it was a tweet or an X or whatever we call those things. The West Virginia booth at the Great American State Fair, or whatever we're calling it, there in D.C. Featured on Fox News. I think it was this morning. Chelsea Ruby was right there on in the little segment. So
how'd we look?
We look good. Look like a nice booth.
Good.
Look like nice. They got like a driving simulation, like you can drive through West Virginia. Some kind of simulator. Holy moly! Yes, I've spoken English my entire life. Jeez.
Do you pass a coal truck on a 2-lane road on this simulator?
I don't know if you hit a pothole.
I'm going to tell you what. So I grew up in the coal fields, and you just learn. I mean, I can't remember a time you didn't have that from a kid growing up, right? It's just you pass these coal trucks, bring folks in from out of state that have never been around. They're like, my goodness gracious, what? I mean, they're worrying. Is this thing? I mean, guys, it's a truck. It's gonna be okay.
He'll stay on his side. I'll be on mine.
He'll stay on his side. I'll stay on mine. Everything be good.
So what? Yeah. You got to replace your windshield every once in a while. It happens.
I brought some guys down from Columbus, and seriously, the look on their face, they had never seen a coal truck. What is that? What? Yeah, I mean, they were uptight about it to the point where I said, you guys want to drive for a little bit? No.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. 800-765-8255. By the way, I did see Pennsylvania was skipping the Great American State Fair or whatever.
Snub?
Again, yeah.
Snub?
Neighbors to the north snubbing it over in D.C.
Interesting.
Let's get some text here. 304 Talk 304. Texter says, unable to text steam release at 11:30 due to work responsibilities. Please thank Senate candidate Sean Fluharty for unnecessarily creating a firestorm in Warwood regarding a false press release, says the texter. Yeah, we went over that yesterday. We did reach out for Wheeling Mayor Denny Magruder, get some thoughts on that redevelop. At this point, I'm not even calling it a data center. It's a redevelopment project there at the old foundry plant in Warwood on Route 2. Look, I get it. Data centers are trigger words, and where there is a lack of information, people will fill it with whatever. I get it.
Programming note, the mayor did get back to me right before the show, and he apologized. They have multiple events in Wheeling scheduled from 10 to noon today that he's at, but give him a call next week. I'm sure he would be glad to help you out next week if you want, David.
You know the great part of this job? There's always another show.
Always another show.
That's right. I mean, as long as they keep us employed, There's always another show to fill.
Boss man's in the building today. He didn't bar me from coming in the studio, so.
304 Talk 304. So nobody's going to bring up the fact that our education system hasn't been gutted by Trump's appointee, who's better suited to setting up pay-per-view WWE event than doing anything with the education department. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about currently at all. We're talking about the county school systems, the funding mechanisms for them, the state's role. And Amy brought up a great point. Senator Grady brought up a great point. When's the last time the formula was updated? The Caperton administration? Does that sound about right?
If that.
So let's say early 90s, the number of requirements that have been piled on, the more regulations, the more fixed costs that have been added without any sort of an adjustment to that formula. No, that's part of the reason these school systems are struggling. That's one of the factors they're struggling.
One of the factors. And let me just say this. Some of these counties, they've ran terrible businesses and made terrible business decisions with the money that they have. They have lived beyond their means. You want to challenge that? Feel free. I've got the numbers in front of me. We can talk about it.
304.
Not you, but anybody else.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. We'll switch gears. We'll talk to Brad McElhenney. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It is 10:30. Time to get a news update. Let's check in with the Metro News Radio Network, find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Chang.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Keep your eyes on the radar and watching the potential of more flash flooding and flooding heading into the weekend. Some of our western areas, Huntington included in this too, a flood watch starts at 2 o'clock this afternoon, lasts until 11 a.m. Saturday. Multiple rounds of showers and storms associated with increasing heavier moisture and a cold front becoming near stationary. Total forecast rainfall through the weekend here in that 1 to 2 inch range with locally higher amounts that are possible. Later today and tonight, we are in a marginal to slight risk of excessive rain for that flash flood potential. There's also a marginal risk of isolated severe storms, isolated damaging winds. So again, the ground may already be up to saturated for multiple areas with all the rounds of previous rain this month. So the ground may be compromised, so damaging winds on top of trees may more easily cause some wind damage, so keep eyes on that too. High of 83 yesterday. We got some showers, potential thunder out the door this morning. The front's here, so likely chances of rain today, tonight, Saturday night, ending sometime on Sunday, and then the high heat concerns next week. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Atlanta, 89 today, 92 tomorrow. Watching for chances of showers and storms. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 80. Likely chance of showers and storms to the east. Heating up in the eastern Panhandle areas, potentially up to 90 out there. Likely chances of showers, highs in the ranks, mostly the 80s, and to the south. Again, areas to the west and Huntington already have a flood watch, watching for that potential of flooding. Risk of flooding and flash flooding through the weekend with increasing heat and humidity. Then a warm front powers through and lesser chances of rain and increasing heat. Some near daily warm record lows in the 70s next week, major to extreme heat risks, highs in mid-90s to maybe approaching 100 degrees by the middle of the week.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
me too.
a great point. Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
304 Talk 304. Texter says the West Virginia booth was featured during the last segment on Jesse Waters' Primetime last night. The segment was quite entertaining, says the texter.
I'll tell you this. You mentioned Chelsea Ruby.
Yeah.
What a great job she does. I mean, we are lucky to have her in this state. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, whatever. I mean, this lady has done a phenomenal job over multiple administrations promoting the state of West Virginia. We're lucky to have her. People should realize that.
And there's a lot to promote. There's a lot
Absolutely.
to promote.
Absolutely.
You know who the hardest people to this is what I think her hardest job is to promote tourism to, the hardest group to promote tourism to? Us. Like we spent a couple of days over in Harper's Ferry last week. Really enjoyed it. I've lived here my whole life, had never explored. I've been by Harper's Ferry.
Mm-hmm.
Had never explored it. Spent a couple of days exploring. It was fascinating. It was a great place. Great place to go. And there's all kinds of places like that. Here we are. We got them right in our backyard. All we do is complain. Your positivity's wearing off, TJ. Was that positive? Was that positive? Was that optimistic?
I don't know. I started out saying what a great person Chelsea Ruby was and how great a job she does, and then
she
kind of
does.
took it from there. So
She does.
I think
a great
I was
job.
positive. But
You were very positive.
Thank you.
I'm just saying we got a lot of great stuff. You don't have to go across the country. Go see it. It's great.
Amen.
Brad McElhenney, Metro News statewide correspondent. He knows all about all the great stuff. He joins us on Metro News Talkline. Hey, Brad.
Oh, hi. Hopefully Chelsea Ruby is listening because she's really got a full plate at the moment. She is dealing with the Great American State Fair exhibit on the mall in Washington, D.C., and I think has been on site. I just saw her moments ago in a Fox News clip that included the West Virginia exhibit. But as you also may know, a significant event taking place on the state capitol grounds with the world's tallest portable Ferris wheel taking shape as we speak.
Yep, that's going on too. Never mind. We'll talk about the Ferris wheel another day.
How about Talkline Live from the tallest vantage point of the world's largest portable Ferris wheel?
So we brought that up yesterday in the pre-show meeting. We were thinking maybe TJ and I in different gondolas.
I like it.
Is that what they're called? Gondolas? Is that what they're called?
Gondolas. That's what they're called.
Technical challenge, but I like it.
I think we can pull it off. Both of us on a wireless access unit. We feed it back to producer Ethan. We can pick our president, whichever one we want to sit in, and go for it.
Well, aside from me being on vacation next week, that's kind of an issue. But I refuse to do this unless I get the Ronald Reagan or Abe Lincoln gondola. I'm just saying it's got to be one of the two.
All right. Well, you know what? Don't give our sales guys any more ideas, or they will make this happen if we're not careful, TJ. So I'm just saying, be careful what you wish for.
I don't think that would be the craziest thing I've ever done. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't think that would be all that out there. I have to take a Dramamine or something probably if I'm going to be doing it for 2 hours.
I'm not sure how we got here, but here we are. Brad McElhenney, Metro News statewide correspondent. Brad, some good news for PEIA, projecting a budget surplus as the fiscal year comes to a close.
It's at least medium news. So a little backstory. I wound up with regular PEIA coverage because, as you may recall, a few years ago, there was a statewide educator strike, and the central issue was the rising cost of insurance versus the flat pay. And that means that to this day, I cover the PEIA Finance Board. But yesterday, there was a regular meeting, and the Finance Board had fair to Midland news, which is that things are stable. Things are okay. Running a little bit of a budget surplus headed toward the end of the fiscal year. And I think in this case, medium news is good news.
One of the things that surprised me, I mean, we talk about drug costs, prescription costs, they're up. Looks like they're actually down here. It may be difficult to pinpoint, but do we know what's causing that at all, Brett?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're asking about drug costs?
Yes.
I am not sure exactly what is causing that, but there was some discussion that as we reach the end of the fiscal year, there may be a run on some things like medical procedures and some prescriptions, that kind of thing.
Well, so that's interesting. So timing could be part of this then, is what I'm hearing you say.
Timing could be, but the trend is in the right direction regarding PEIA. And, in contrast, there has been in past years some worry, some drama about how this insurance organization is financially. And right now it's okay. To me, the backstory is worth remembering. There was that educator strike, and then the prior administration said, for a number of years, your premiums are not going to go up on my watch. That probably artificially held premiums low during a time of otherwise high inflation, and then that ended that commitment to keeping premiums flat, which caused sort of a Band-Aid effect. It rocketed back, more of a rubber band effect. So the prices went back up. The legislature did a couple more things, which is that providers said, we can't get by on the reimbursement rate that you're giving us. So the legislature acted to provide a more generous reimbursement rate for providers. And then there was another issue where, some people who are entitled to PEIA have their spouses on it too. The legislature put into effect a greater spousal surcharge. And so all that has added up where PEIA is about on course to be roughly even at this point. No drama, which is the story.
That is a good story. But that considering where we were, Brad, and this is why I thought it was relevant to bring you on and point this out. Considering where we were with PEIA, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever the case, however all these years run together, the fact that it's operating in the black, the fact that they're projecting any sort of a surplus and things are stable, we've come quite a ways from the days of, having to get things back in whack, if you will, with PEIA. So at least that is trending in a positive direction.
Right. So, speaking of people having reactions to things, whether they're looking on the bright side or not, I did see some of the comments, and it was largely that people were outraged over PEIA running a surplus. They believe that should be money that's going toward their medical benefits, or that they should not be charged in terms of their premiums. When PEIA does run a surplus like this, I mean, it actually gives some cushion later on when times are not good. PEIA can turn that surplus into a cushion for days when it's not as good as this.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think they need an overall running surplus of $1 billion in the bank. So if we want to have some kind of limit on that, but given the costs and the way things fluctuate in this country, I don't think having this surplus is unhealthy at all. Because, I mean, one of the things I wonder too, Dave and Brad, I know we're just spitballing back and forth here, so no pressure for an answer, but we 4 or 5 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was, we were talking about everybody wanted GLP-1s, right? And there's been more and more options for those. Prices have come down, at least from what I see, because of more competition. And so, I think that's the market working. So, Brad, to your point, kind of to smooth those rough edges, if there's new treatments that are available, things always are more expensive when they come out, and the prices tend to fall over time. So you have those surpluses, right, to ride you through those kinds of waves potentially, so that you don't have to curtail services. So a surplus is not a bad thing here. I don't think we want PEIA operating on a a zero-sum game all the time.
There is regularly a call to privatize PEIA, and I'm never convinced that would actually save much. PEIA is essentially a hub for private insurance plans already with minimal staff. Mm-hmm. But by not privatizing it, what happens is if you do things like run a surplus of $128.4 million, you can use it to ride out tougher times in the future. If it were fully privatized, what would happen to that money? It would go to shareholders.
MetroNews statewide correspondent, Brad McElhinney. Which presidential gondola do you want, Brad?
Ulysses S. Grant.
Why?
I like Grant.
Grant didn't get his fair shake in his time. It's only been, in the last maybe 20 years, TJ? I've seen several documentaries that have gone back and gone, maybe Grant didn't get his due in his time. I like
War
that
hero,
choice.
won the Civil War, did his best on Reconstruction. I'm in the Grant gondola.
All right, so I'm starting a list here. Brad's got Grant. Wilson, you can chime in before I get to Stephen Allen Adams here, who's already texted me. I want to make sure you get dibs, and then I wanted Reagan or
he wanted John Adams. He can have John Adams.
Okay.
No, his great uncle. So TJ, if you're in the Lincoln gondola and I am in the Grant gondola, we've got Andrew Johnson in between us. Nobody's going to want the Andrew Johnson gondola. Thumbs down. Terrible.
MetroNews statewide. Man, Brad Duncan on Andrew Johnson. MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhenney. Hey, Brad, have a great weekend. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
304-TALK. 304 is the text line. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. It's Friday. We're in relatively good mood. Steam release is coming up at 11:33 this morning. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
Summer in West Virginia means open roads, blue skies, and endless possibilities. But if you don't have reliable wheels, getting to work or making it to a doctor's appointment can feel like an uphill climb. That's where Good News Mountaineer Garage comes in. We take donated vehicles, fix them up, and get them to fellow mountaineers who need them the most. This summer, let's keep our community moving. Donate a vehicle today by calling 866-GIVE-CAR or visit goodnewsmountaineergarage.org. Donate a car, change a life.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniel's.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
I feel like I need to explain this. So the Ferris wheel, 230 feet, it's the largest portable Ferris wheel that's being set up at the Capitol for the America 250 celebration coming up next week. There are 45 gondolas, each representing a U.S. president on the Ferris wheel. And apparently we are reserving which one we want to ride in. Or do the show in, who knows. By the way, you can mark me down. I don't think there's going to be a fight for this one. Martin Van Buren, thank you very much.
Interesting. Care to elaborate as to why?
I'll just say this. If you know, you know. Martin Van Buren.
Okay.
If you know, I'm sure many of you out there right now get it, but I'm going to let you all, if you know, you know.
Stew on that for a while?
Yeah, stew on that. There are some... The president, so what, between... Oh, you'd have to go back. There's that string in there from probably what? James Monroe, John Quincy Adams. What, then you have Andrew Jackson. But from Jackson to Lincoln, a lot of weak presidents in the 17th century, or in the 1800s there, leading up to the Civil War. Or a lot, at least, not memorable administrations in there, except for Martin Van Buren, obviously.
Yeah. James Madison would be a great one to claim. I mean, that guy was a genius. Just a genius.
You would like
Brilliant.
Madison. You would like Madison.
You're right, I do. I like him very much.
So if you want to reserve, you know what, we'll just make it a thing. If you want to reserve your gondola, we're taking notes right now. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-TALK is the phone number. Jackpots are on the rise in West Virginia, and who does not want to be a millionaire? Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $348 million. Mega Millions jackpot's $489 million, so go ahead, play today. 304-TALK, 304. No one wants to ride in the Clinton basket? Ride at your own risk. This texter says, Calvin Coolidge. There's a video on YouTube of the outside and inside of the America 250 wheel. That's the official name that's being assembled at the state capitol. It was taken by someone at the Florida State Fair. Check that out, advises the texter.
This thing is well-traveled.
This texter says, I like John Tyler. He had 15 children plus one out of wedlock, but my hero is Theodore Roosevelt. All right, Teddy, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
304-TALK, 304. Put Libertarian Party chair and state Senate candidate Taylor Richmond in the Calvin Coolidge, or the Cool Cal gondola.
Coolidge doesn't get enough play. I mean, he really doesn't. Coolidge was good. He was good.
All right. Well, apparently a couple of people agree with you.
Yeah.
This texter says, I'll take James K. Polk, as he accomplished everything in one term, says the texter. Did not expect this to go this way. Dave likes Martin Van Buren because of his beautiful bald head. Guy had some chops, too.
Yeah. Well, as you point out, I'll do it for you. That's a choice. That's a choice.
This is a choice, boy.
Yeah.
Let's see. If we pick Madison's paddle boat, do we get some Dolly Madison snack cakes? Love those.
What a formidable woman. What a fascinating first lady.
Save the curtains, right? Is that the story?
The George Washington portrait. Yeah.
304-TALK, 304. What the heck? I'm sure there'll be a line for the orange gondola. The Epstein discount will apply, says the texter.
That didn't take too long, did it?
It's a Friday. It's a summer Friday. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255, the phone number. I'll tell you what's coming up in hour number 2. More of your presidential gondola request at 304-TALK, 304. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. We're back in a moment.
We are there for you to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. Fiber is now at your front door and even in rural areas and communities across West Virginia. Thanks to broadband expansion funding, your tax dollars helped make it possible. And CityNet turned that investment into real connections for local families and businesses. Now, you can get blazing fast fiber internet with free installation, free equipment, no long-term contract, and local customer support that's always close to home. Don't settle for slow or no internet for another day. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
.304 Talk 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255, the phone number. Jared Halpern, Fox News Radio, is going to join us coming up top of the hour. Yesterday, the U.S. Supreme Court did hand down several rulings, not the ones we were particularly looking for. Well, we had our eyes on the BPJ ruling involving boys and girls sports, but that did not come down. There were a couple that did come down in favor of the administration. We'll talk to Jared Halpern about that. Get the latest from Washington, D.C. coming up a few minutes from now. More of you texting in your presidential gondola reservations. This texter says he wants Buchanan because his incompetence led to the election of Lincoln, who saved the Union, says the texter.
Couldn't be the guy unless I screwed it up. That's something to hang your hat on.
Texter says, put Big Andrew in Marietta down for Dwight D. Eisenhower.
I like Ike.
Can you imagine? So he was recruited by both parties to run for president. Could you imagine today both parties trying to recruit the same candidate to join their party?
No, not at all.
That could never happen today.
Could never happen. I would be very surprised. I always think it's fun to play the game. What famous Democratic presidents would be a Republican today if they were alive today? Now, other people may like to play it the other way around, but, I always get into the debate. Truman would be a Republican today.
Oh, Oh, no doubt.
Truman would be a Republican today.
No doubt.
And look, I'm not a Republican. Don't get me, you know that. I'm an independent, but I'm just saying. Maybe put it this way. He'd be a conservative. I don't think there's any question about that.
I not necessarily the same game, which party would they be, but what would they think? Could you take a politician? Could you take a Lincoln?
Mm-hmm.
Could you take a Eisenhower or Martin Van Buren? Plop them down in Washington, D.C., and how quickly could they assimilate to, more Nats in the studio, to today's political atmosphere, today's political world?
Yeah, or they might take one look at it and say, you people are disappointing and crazy. I'm going back to my own time.
Put me back in the DeLorean. Send me back.
I mean,
that's quite
seriously.
possible, too.
Yeah, I think they would take one look at it sometimes and say, my goodness, how we failed. I truly believe that. It would be like a grandparent looking at a great-grandchild and kind of saying, man, something happened.
What happened to positivity, TJ?
Well, I look, dude, I mean, I got to tell it like it is. Do you honestly think the Founding Fathers would be proud? Completely proud? No. Happy? Yeah, sure. You did a great job, but you guys really messed some things up, too. How about that?
This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Keep your eyes on the radar and watching the potential of more flash flooding and flooding heading into the weekend. Some of our western areas, Huntington including this too, a flood watch starts at 2 o'clock this afternoon, lasts until 11 a.m. Saturday. Multiple rounds of showers and storms associated with increasing heavier moisture and a cold front becoming near stationary. Total forecast rainfall through the weekend here in that 1 to 2 inch range with locally higher amounts that are possible. Later today and tonight, we are in a marginal to slight risk of excessive rain for that flash flood potential. There's also a marginal risk of isolated severe storms, isolated damaging winds. So again, the ground may already be up to saturated for multiple areas with all the rounds of previous rain this month. So the ground may be compromised, so damaging winds on top of trees may more easily cause some wind damage, so keep eyes on that too. High of 83 yesterday. We got some showers, potential thunder out the door this morning. The front's here, so likely chances of rain today, tonight, Saturday night, ending sometime on Sunday, and then the high heat concerns next week. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Atlanta, 89 today, 92 tomorrow. Watching for chances of showers and storms. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 80. Likely chance of showers and storms to the east. Heating up in the eastern Panhandle areas, potentially up to 90 out there. Likely chances of showers, highs in the ranks, mostly the 80s, and to the south. Again, areas to the west in Huntington already have a flood watch, watching for that potential of flooding. Risk of flooding and flash flooding through the weekend with increasing heat and humidity. Then a warm front powers through and lesser chances of rain and increasing heat. Some near daily warm record lows in the 70s next week, major to extreme heat risks, highs in mid-90s to maybe approaching 100 degrees by the middle of the week.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of MetroNews Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios on a steam release Friday. Bottom of the hour, your chance to vent, get it all off your chest, talk about anything you want to without the response of your two hosts. That's coming up 11:33, 800-765-TALKS. The phone number, 800-765-8255. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line. Say good morning to all of our great radio affiliates across the state. And if you're watching in on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, we appreciate it. Gang's all here. Sophia Wasik is our audio producer this morning. Zach Karolchek is here. He's not really doing much. We've got intern Mila at the controls on the video side of things this morning working for us. And, of course, TJ Meadows in the Charleston Encova Insurance Studios. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Morning, everybody. Thanks for being along with us.
We will take more of your texts on which presidential gondola you would like to ride in. We'll get to more of those coming up this morning. I don't know how we got there, but I'm taking Martin Van Buren. You've got who? Who have you got?
Reagan or Lincoln.
Okay. Steve Adams wanted John Adams, and Brad. Mm-hmm. Who did Brad take?
Did Brad take? Oh, who did Brad take?
Grant.
Oh, Grant. Yes.
All right. So those are our picks. You can weigh in as well. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255, the phone number. U.S. Supreme Court yesterday issued several opinions. We were watching for the BPJ decision. That did not come down, but several opinions did, and a couple of them wins for the current administration. Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern joins us from D.C. Jared, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Let's talk about that. What's been the reaction? The Trump administration getting a couple of wins from the U.S. Supreme Court yesterday.
Yeah, these certainly help the administration move forward with some of the controversial aspects of their immigration enforcement, specifically as it relates to temporary protected status, that TPS designation for migrants from Haiti and from Syria. It's again, helpful, but it is procedural in the sense that what the court was doing was not answering necessarily a constitutional question, but kind of an interpretation of what the law allows. So I say that to say that if Congress were disappointed in the ruling, and I don't think the Republican-led Congress is, they could try and change that legislation. The same is true for the second immigration case that came down, which deals with whether or not you can make an asylum claim before physically entering the United States. The federal law had been interpreted by previous administrations to essentially say that you didn't have to physically like make it to the border and be on U.S. Land to make that claim. The court said that is not true by any kind of measure of how we know what enter means in the English language.
Seems like common sense, Jared. I don't know. Seems like common sense.
I don't know how often you read the Federal Registry and federal law. Sometimes they are vague, sometimes by design, sometimes just because they are, and so that's why the Supreme Court is sometimes asked to weigh in on, like, what does this mean, and this is how previous administrations understood it, and this administration understands it in a different way, and what happens if that's the case. And so that was kind of what this ruling, in both of these circumstances, really narrowed in on.
Justice Alito had a pretty good line. I think was it Alito? It was Alito that had the line, a running back does not arrive in the end zone when he reaches the 1 yard line. You actually have to arrive in the end zone. It's like, that's pretty good. It's common sense.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm a Cowboys fan. I think they've well, I'm just saying.
Officials might call it a touchdown if they're playing in Dallas.
Pylon in or out. You know what I'm saying?
Can we get some points for the red zone? At least getting in the red zone.
A couple of points. Just throw me some points.
Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern joining us. Meanwhile, Jared, more fallout, or has things simmered down after the canceled bill signing and the tense luncheon the other day?
Well, so these are two separate things. I think they've simmered down in the Senate because ultimately Bill Cassidy, who had the shouting match with the president, got what he had asked for, which was a fulsome briefing from officials here at the White House. He went back to the Senate. They had another vote. He changed his vote, and the War Powers Act failed. The House is much different because the president canceled this bill signing on the housing bill because he wants action first on the Save America Act. And then Anna Paulina Luna, who is a conservative Republican from Florida, a political ally of the president, basically blocked the Senate, the House from moving forward on anything that they were going to do this week until they get a vote in the Senate on the Save America Act. Then yesterday afternoon, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, comes to the White House, has a meeting with the president, kind of explains where they are legislatively and the issues they're having moving forward on literally anything. And then the president puts out on Truth Social that Republicans in the House need to unify and stop voting down these procedural votes. Well, she was voting down the procedural votes because she was asking for the same thing that President Trump was asking for. So I think there is still some work to be done to get kind of House Republicans and the president on the same page on how to forcefully advocate their position to the Senate while also not kind of undermining everything else that Speaker Johnson says needs to be done.
Jared, I want to talk and move to the Strait of Hormuz, and forgive me if this is news, but I'm just seeing it broke about 10 minutes ago. There are reports that Oman has told European officials there's no way of going back to the pre-war status quo with the Strait of Hormuz, and transiting ships may have to be charged some fees. Now, I'm sure that'll run counter to what the White House wants because that's been part of the negotiation. But anything yet out of the White House? Are they saying anything?
The White House hasn't responded. The White House doesn't respond today specifically other than kind of reiterating what they have been saying for weeks, both the president and the Secretary of State, that while the memorandum of understanding says that no tolls will be charged during this 60 days, it is unacceptable to charge tolls in an international waterway. That has never happened. That has never been the case in the Strait of Hormuz, and they will not allow it. President Trump said as much yesterday. So, again, I think that what is going on is kind of what is real and what's kind of a negotiation position. Oman and Iran share the Strait of Hormuz borders, the coastlines on opposite ends of the strait. And Oman has always been viewed as somebody that would kind of have to play a role in the managing of that strait. But the U.S. has made clear that they are not going to allow a situation in which commercial vessels are being charged to pass through this waterway. So it is another wrinkle for sure in this negotiation. There were certainly questions about the sustainability and the viability of the ceasefire, given that there are reports that a commercial vessel was hit with an Iranian drone yesterday. So, this is not a done deal by any stretch of the imagination.
Talking to Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern. Jared, it appears President Trump certainly pays attention to the polls. He pays attention to how voters are reacting to decisions that are being made. Is there any indication he's paying attention to the data that's floating out there that Americans don't necessarily like this deal, that's not popular among voters right at the moment?
Yeah, I think that what the White House will tell you is that a lot of that's driven by the economy, and that the price of oil, the price of gas, the price of everything will drop. And we've seen it drop as this deal continues to be implemented and ships start to transit the Strait of Hormuz. But the president has also said that he's not being driven by politics here. He's being driven by what he thinks is in the best interest for the U.S. and finally taking care of a threat that he says should have been handled by previous presidents over the last 47 years. That being said, professional politicians are aware of polling and public sentiment, and sometimes events move polls and sometimes polls move events. And I think there's probably a little bit of both happening right now.
Bit of a lighter note. What's on the schedule today at the White House? What are you expecting? What's on the president's weekend agenda?
So the president only has one kind of big event here. Today he is speaking at the Faith and Freedom Conference. It is a big social conservative gathering. A lot of Capitol Hill officials, a lot of administration officials are speaking to this group. It is a group that has long supported the president. He has long spoken at their conference. It is notable because it is at the Washington Hilton Hotel, which is where the White House Correspondents Association dinner was in April, when a gunman tried to get into the ballroom. It will be the president's first time to return to that venue. And notably, the White House Correspondents Association has rescheduled that dinner for next month, the end of July, and it will not be at the Washington Hilton. So a little bit of a sidebar to the president's day and kind of just where he is going and who he's speaking with.
Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern. Jared, we appreciate it. Have a great weekend. We'll check in next week.
Sure thing.
800-765-TALK, 304-TALK, 304. No, you did not miss Direwalt. Chris had a previous commitment today, could not join us. He will be back presumably next week if he has, nothing else better to do, apparently. He'll join us next week.
You can still lob steam at him, though, if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. He did write about Iran in his Whole Hog Politics today, and I'll just give you a little sample. Chris got into the polling data that suggests that certainly many Americans do not like the deal. I had it highlighted. And Chris goes on to say, some things are different now than when the war began in February. Iran's conventional military and nuclear capabilities took a thrashing. Islamic State's threats against their neighbors will ring hollower for some time to come. But the Iranians know one thing, too. America's heart just isn't in this one. He goes on to say, that the Iranian foreign policy team, TJ, they can see the polls too. They can read polls, and they've been doing this for half a century, is just kind of buying time until Americans get tired of the issue, and they survive, is what the implication was.
Yeah, I don't think we are willing. Not only do we not like it, sometimes people don't like things, but they're willing to endure for a greater cause, a greater good. Americans aren't willing to do that with this war. They're just not. They're not. And you can say that's a generational thing. You could say that it is reflective of the fact that they simply don't want to be the world's cop, and they don't see this as a credible threat to the United States. I mean, there could be lots of reasons why, but we're a consumer nation. We're not willing to sacrifice with the pocketbook. We're just not, the way the great generation of WW2 was. And I think the polling bears that out. To your point, Iran can see that. I also think a couple weeks back we had Mike McKenna on, and he made a really good point that it's right there in front of you, obviously, but you don't remember. One of the genius parts about the Congress authorizing war is the reflective position of the people, especially from the House, to say, yes, we are on board with this. And the president going to Congress and asking for that is confirmation that the American people want to follow you. You don't have that here. And that is clear. And look, if I hate they're doing it, but if I were Iran, why wouldn't you leverage that to your benefit?
And go back to, we had this conversation back in February when the conflict broke out. What was the objective? What was the thing you needed people to get behind? That was never clearly spelled out. And here we are in June, almost July, and you're left asking the question, well, if we're just right back to where we started, and now Oman and Iran want to charge tolls, or they're going to try to leverage some sort of deal, or billions of dollars in assets are being freed up, then what was the objective in all this? If the objective was to set their military nuclear programs back, okay, that was never clearly spelled out, something to get behind, like you say.
And Oman clearly seeing an opportunity here. I was reading the piece that just came out from Bloomberg. They're talking about, well, look, there's a cost to maintain the strait. There's a cost to get rid of that. So they're coming at it from that angle when I'm sure they see a clear leverage play. They also say, quote, they'll abide by international laws. We were talking about the fact that that's never happened in international waterways. You've never had any kind of toll, but it thickens it. And I also think it's very telling, Dave, they went to the Europeans with this. They didn't come to the U.S. first. Would Europe buy into that? Would Europe buy into, there's environmental issues, because that was part of what was quoted in the piece. We have to maintain environmental stability of the strait and all these kinds of things. So they go to Europe. Is Europe going to have Oman's back in this? I don't know, but it's one other thing now to watch in a very volatile region of the world.
304 Talk 304, that's the text line. We'll get to some of your texts coming up, including which presidential gondola you want to ride in. Whole bunch of those to get to. Steam release coming up at 11:33. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. The text line is 304 Talk 304. It's a Positivity Friday here in the Encova Insurance Studios. This is Talkline. We're back in a moment.
Feeling under the weather but don't want to leave home? With WVU Medicine Virtual Urgent Care, you can connect with a provider in minutes, right from your phone, tablet, or computer. From cold and flu symptoms to minor injuries and more. Expert care is just a click away. No waiting room, no commute. Available when you need it most, including evenings and weekends. Skip the trip and feel better faster. Visit wvumedicine.org/virtualuc.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
I'm Rachel Fetty Anderson, candidate for U.S. Senate. West Virginians are celebrating 250 years of freedom from a tyrannical government that seized land, taxed without representation, and forced the colonies to pay the cost for foreign wars. Today, our government is giving our land to corporations, silencing local governments, and defunding the infrastructure services our children need to thrive. We can stop them. Vote for a candidate who wants to represent us and stands for us, because my family lives here too. I'm Rachel Fetty Anderson, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Elect Fetty Anderson, Senate campaign.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
.304 Talk, 304 is the text line. CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably at your front door. Now is the perfect time to connect. Free equipment, free installation, no contracts. Local customer support you can trust. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects. All right, we've been talking U.S. presidents today, mainly because the Ferris wheel is going up. Is it up? Is it ready to hop into yet?
I do not believe so. They started yesterday, and I think it takes a few days.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't drive by the Capitol this morning, so I don't think so.
Well, each of the gondolas, 45 gondolas, each one represents a president. Somehow we ended up on the which one do you want to ride in question. I'm taking Van Buren. TJ's in either Lincoln. He's got two of them reserved. He wants Lincoln or Reagan. Brad wanted Ulysses S. Grant, just to name a couple. So text line 304 Talk 304. Time is place. Man, y'all and your grammar. Time is place. The gondola for Joe Biden. They don't remember where they put. Oh, they misplaced. I got you now. The gondola for Joe Biden. They don't remember where they put it. Put up, Chung. Guys, I like Jimmy Carter. Got the National Energy Act of 1978 passed. Still very important and framework for energy production today. Probably also important incident where Iran influenced our elections and got Reagan elected. Wonder who they want to be president now. Maybe we should have read the rest of that before I started it.
I mean, look, a good man, but not one of our best leaders. Leave it at that.
This texter says they'd call Eisenhower a rhino today. Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'll take Franklin Pierce because he was the guy I was assigned to do a report on when I was young. Didn't you hate that? You know, when you got the assignment in school, if you're doing something on the president, you get like Millard Fillmore. What? Who? Then your buddy's got Lincoln. You're great. He's got the easy one.
If your life depended on it right now, could you come up with a Millard Fillmore fact? I couldn't.
No. I thought that was just a good pool to come up with Fillmore, let alone come up with a Millard Fillmore fact. Zach, get on that. You're a great American. Check on that. 304 Talk 304. Guys, $40 trillion in national debt. The Founding Fathers would be proud, ? They would have had another tea party over this trash. Also, the Dixie Democrats were conservative back in the day, right? Weren't Democrats conservative? I don't understand how all of a sudden we identify a political party as conservative or liberal, says the texter. 304 Talk 304. Let's squeeze on a quick call before steam release. Todd. Hey, Todd. What's up?
Hi, good. How you doing?
Doing great. What's on your mind?
Good. I just wanted to make a comment about something TJ said a minute ago. You were talking about, American people's willingness to put up with a war. And he said that, we might not have the same conviction as the greatest generation. But, when that war started, the U.S. sat for a long time and watched a lot of stuff happen before they were forced into it. So I don't know that it's changed much. Hitler had already taken over all of Europe and most of North Africa, and the Japanese had marched all across Asia and China, and then we sat and watched until we were bombed. And I think we should have joined for sure, and we should have done exactly as we did. But I don't think much changed. I think if people had a real reason and a real, I'm trying to say a real, definitive reason to go to war, I think we'd still be willing to do what needs to be done.
Todd, appreciate the call. We've got 30 seconds while we can still respond. Go, TJ.
Oh,
if
good
you want
call,
to.
Todd. No, great point. Good context. I appreciate it. Thanks for weighing into the debate.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, buddy. Have a great weekend. All right. That's it. We can no longer respond. That was the only one we could respond to. Steam release is coming up next. Your chance to vent, get it all off your chest before you head into the weekend. That is coming up in 3 minutes. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News. I'm Chris Lawrence. The Public Employees Insurance.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Solango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Keep your eyes on the radar and watching the potential of more flash flooding and flooding heading into the weekend. Some of our western areas, Huntington including this too, a flood watch starts at 2 o'clock this afternoon, lasts until 11 a.m. Saturday. Multiple rounds of showers and storms associated with increasing heavier moisture and a cold front becoming near stationary. Total forecast rainfall through the weekend here in that 1 to 2 inch range with locally higher amounts that are possible. Later today and tonight, we are in a marginal to slight risk of excessive rain for that flash flood potential. There's also a marginal risk of isolated severe storms, isolated damaging winds. So again, the ground may already be up to saturated for multiple areas with all the rounds of previous rain this month. So the ground may be compromised, so damaging winds on top of trees may more easily cause some wind damage, so keep eyes on that too. High of 83 yesterday. We got some showers, potential thunder out the door this morning. The front's here, so likely chances of rain today, tonight, Saturday night, ending sometime on Sunday, and then the high heat concerns next week. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Atlanta, 89 today, 92 tomorrow. Watching for chances of showers and storms. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 80. Likely chance of showers and storms to the east. Heating up in the eastern Panhandle areas, potentially up to 90 out there. Likely chances of showers, highs in the ranks, mostly the 80s, and to the south. Again, areas to the west and Huntington already have a flood watch, watching for that potential of flooding. Risk of flooding and flash flooding through the weekend with increasing heat and humidity. Then a warm front powers through and lesser chances of rain and increasing heat. Some near daily warm record lows in the 70s next week, major to extreme heat risks, highs in mid-90s to maybe approaching 100 degrees by the middle of the week.
This is Ben Solango with Solango Law. Solango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Solango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Solango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at solangolaw.com.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too. That's a great point.
Join Tony Carini, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
This has had a very Friday, summery type feel today. I like it.
Me too.
Let's finish on a strong note, shall we?
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window.
Right now,
open
America
it,
is hungry
and
for
stick your head
energy.
out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
The system's even mad. It's trying to skip through breaks. All week, you've listened to the two of us. You've heard commentators, opinion, thought leaders, or at least those who think they're such things. You've heard callers. You've had guests. Now is your time to weigh in and do it unfettered. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255 is the phone number. The text line is 304-TALK-304. A couple of rules here on Steam Release. They're more like guidelines. Number one, try to keep it tight so we can get as many steams in as possible. Number two, you can steam about the hosts, current, past, or future host of the program. And we may not respond. You can steam about whatever you like. We just ask you, please do not get us sued or fired. Those two things kind of go hand in hand. Otherwise, the rest of the show belongs to you. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. You can text the show at 304-TALK-304. We begin on the phones. George, you are batting leadoff on Steam Release. Go ahead, George.
Charleston has way too many of those festivals where they block off the streets, but at least what they used to do was put up signs so you knew not to turn down a street in the first place. This past Sunday was an extra surprise. You turn down a street and then find out at the end that you had to turn around in the middle of it.
George, have a good weekend, buddy. And you may want to avoid some streets next weekend. Just throwing it out there. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. 800-765-8255. 304-TALK-304. Let's get to the text steams, TJ.
They are all jumbled today because of what has gone down. So give me a little grace.
Just roll with them.
Yeah, we need to consolidate some county school systems, especially those with just one high school, says the texter. SBA now giving money to build charter schools. That's what the no hope has grown into. No problem getting things done for the rich who are legislators. Homeschoolers bring their kids to the legislature and legislative meetings because they don't work and cry to the legislators. They've turned their backs on public education. That's the bottom line. 304-TALK-304. You already did that one. Texter says, hey, don't forget about the logging trucks. Passing them ain't no joke. Okay, moving on here. How much would it help PEIA if we wouldn't have the promised scholarships? People used to have to take out loans and work to pay tuition, not have the state pay it. Couldn't that help us out financially, asks the texter. This steam, your listeners are watching way too much Fox, spelled F-A-U-X, news. 304-TALK-304. Let's hope it, talking about the Ferris wheel, is not too much weight for the location. It sinks, says the texter. We got that one. I'm not talking about that because I don't want to be fired. Walking through here, we've already done that president. I told you, man, they're all mixed together. Senator Laura Wacom Chapman did not show up in Triadelphia during our tragedy of a flood last June, where 9 people lost their lives. Ryan Weld, another senator, was in Triadelphia at least 3 or 4 times and actually got muddy helping people. She did, however, show up when our local church did a dedication to a monument and the 9 crosses that were put in the church yard. But she shows up in Warwood regarding an AI data center. Priorities should be higher, says the texter. 304-TALK-304. Clinton would be a Republican. I don't know if you read that or not, but I just did it again. The Democrats are finally showing their true colors, socialist or communist, says the texter. The irony is rich in the hills of West Virginia today as the second fattest governor in our history slaps the M&Ms out of poor children's hands. What's next? Little Debbie cakes in an Ozempic commercial? Ask the texter.
304 Talk 304. That is the text line where you can release your steam. You can give us a call as well. 800-765-TALK. 800-765-8255. It's steam release. Anything you want to talk about, you can do that for the next 22 minutes. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. 304 Talk 304 is the text line. More steam release in a moment.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
Plan a holiday getaway to the 64th Annual Mountain State Art and Craft Fair, July 2nd through the 4th at Cedar Lakes in Ripley, West Virginia. Shop for handmade Appalachian crafts, enjoy live music, a quilt show, and don't forget the great food. Celebrate America's 250th at America's largest small-town Independence Day celebration. Learn more at RipleyCVB.com. It's all happening on Independence Day weekend in beautiful Ripley. Once you do it, you'll be back. Summer in West Virginia means open roads, blue skies, and endless possibilities. But if you don't have reliable wheels, getting to work or making it to a doctor's appointment can feel like an uphill climb. That's where Good News Mountaineer Garage comes in. We take donated vehicles, fix them up, and get them to fellow mountaineers who need them the most. This summer, let's keep our community moving. Donate a vehicle today by calling 866-GIVE-CAR or visit goodnewsmountaineergarage.org. Donate a car, change a life.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
WV. In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
5, 3.
For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop.
I would imagine a group of you got together and watched the Mountaineers last night. What were your thoughts on that performance?
It was funny, we were sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? And sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably Mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it.
Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Steam release rolls on. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255, 304-TALK-304. The WVU Heart and Vascular Institute is being recognized among the best in the nation for heart surgery. The Institute has earned the highest 3-star rating from the Society of Thoracic Surgeons in 5 major cardiac surgery categories, placing WVU Medicine's heart program among the most elite in the country for quality and outcomes. In addition, WVU Medicine, Thomas Hospitals, Camden Clark Medical Center, and Wheeling Hospital received top-star ratings for heart surgery. It's world-class heart care right here in West Virginia. Learn more at wvumedicine.org/heart. More of your text steams coming up. Let's hit the phones and go to the Northern Outpost. Hey, Bill.
Hey, TJ, and this one just for you, baby, because I want you to enjoy your 4th of July weekend. Just because you know that America's in good hands with a younger generation coming this 4th of July. You see, Mama Dami, who is a mayor of New York City now, a socialist/communist, and his friend Chuck Schumer and AOC and Hakeem Jeffries, the House minority, have pulled it off. They have absolutely pulled this off of taxing the wealthy with fees and taxes, etc. It's dubbed the Royal Wedding at Madison Square Garden next Friday. Yep, Travis and Taylor. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs players have already rented an entire hotel. Now, they're keeping the security part for Taylor's friends, okay, how many wealthy of those are, for security reasons, where they might stay and people just might interrupt things, you know what I mean? And then the only thing I haven't heard is there's going to be a ticker tape parade. I haven't heard that yet, but you see, tax the wealthy works. It's happening. New York City next weekend for this one time.
Bill, appreciate it, as
Thanks,
always. 800-765-TALK is the phone number, 800-765-8255, 304-TALK-304. More text teams.
Steam release historical note. Quote-unquote positive Friday actually began when producer Ethan walked into the free clinic. There you go. Miss Steyer call? Not bloody likely. One word. Nixon. The texter says, I want to ride on Trump's cart with his whole cabinet. Texter informing us that Fillmore was a member of the Whig Party. Thank you. Steam, in the intro, put the emphasis back on in, like it used to be. The most powerful talk show in West Virginia. No emphasis on any word in that sentence is way too flat, says the texter. Andrew Jackson, because he reminds me of Peter Gammons. We as a country are failing ourselves. You can't survive on hate. Dave and TJ, what's the deal with the roads leading to Suncrest WVU off of I-68 Exit 7? First-time visitors will be less than impressed with the condition of the roads leading to our beloved university. My dash cam auto-records if I'm in a crash. The roads are so bad it saves video clips. It thinks I've been in a collision. Luckily, it's just a series of potholes. Where's Hoppy? Hashtag FTDR. Dave, yeah, big surprise that you like Marshall Van Buren, since you're one of the Van Buren boys. Siri might have got him there. Hey, people, turn off the news and talk to your friends and neighbors, and you will realize that we have the best country on the planet. The melting pot is real. Thanks, guys. Great show today. Steam release, I know. Okay, just had to check there. I know one way we can keep pumping the national debt up past $40 trillion. Let's figure out ways to justify 20 million intersection roundabout projects, over $100,000 turning lane options, on a road like Greenback Road that in 2006 had 14,000 cars a day and today has somewhere around 11,000 a day maximum. No steam from me today, though let me provoke some thoughts with 3 words: data centers and fracking. Thank you, President Biden, for that huge, giant infrastructure bill that you, President Trump, or thank you, President Trump, for that gigantic omnibus spending bill. Now the Department of Transportation has thousands and millions of dollars to put roundabouts on people's undeveloped land all over West Virginia. It's not just Greenback Road and Morgantown. Thank you, Governor, for doing nothing on wasteful spending. I sure hope TJ knows what he's talking about regarding energy policy, because everything that I know about energy policy was taught to me from this show. Oh, dear. The promise is totally funded by the idiots who play at the hotspots, says the texter. This is kind of outing your Van Buren thing. You want me to read that or not?
No, go ahead.
All right. Steam, Van Buren married his cousin, Hannah Hose. That's why Dave is a fan, and now we know. I mean, I'll give you a special dispensation. You want to rebut that?
Nope. I'll follow the rules.
Okay.
800-765-TALKS, the phone number. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line. Let's get Bob in from Charleston. Hey, Bob.
Hey. The one fact that everybody ought to know about Millard Fillmore, that he, along with John Tyler, Andrew Johnson, Chester A. Arthur, and Gerald Ford all served as president but were never elected. Thank you.
Yeah. Nicely done, Bob. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255, 304-TALK, 304. Next week, it is going to be hot, it is going to be humid, and it is going to feel like the dog days of summer. Wouldn't you like to spend those out on the lake or river in a brand new pontoon or fishing boat? Well, check out the entire inventory at LouWendellMarineSales.com. Lou Wendell Marine Sales, you can see the entire inventory on the website, know what you want, and go pick out that perfect boat. Lou Wendell Marine Sales, we sell family fun. Last call for phone calls, last call for texts. We'll wrap up steam release and head into the weekend. When we return, this is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $348 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $489 million. So go ahead, play today. 800-765-TALKS, the phone number. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. Final call for phone calls and texts in Steam Release. Let's go to Rob on the phones. Hey, Rob, what's your Steam?
Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, I'm really disappointed in President Trump. He's trying to make a deal with Iran. That is the biggest joke in the world. They would never follow a peace deal with the United States or any nation on this planet. They're a terrorist country. That's all they know, and that's all they're going to follow. This is the biggest joke and waste of time I've ever saw. Thank you.
Rob, you are welcome. Have a great weekend. Let's go to Robert. Hey, Robert, what's your Steam?
I'd like to see you, Dave and TJ, when you have Shelley Moore Capito, Jim Justice, Carol Miller, Riley Moore, ask them what they are doing to stop the U.S. debt clock from arriving at $40 trillion. $1 trillion, I've always asked people, how can you describe a trillion of anything to me? And they usually stumble. So I'll give you this. If you were born 11 and a half days ago, you've lived 1 million seconds. If you're 31 and a half years old, you've lived 1 billion seconds. 1 trillion seconds is 31,500 years. Multiply that by 40 and see where we're at. Just let you go.
Thank you very much, Robert. Have a great weekend. 800-765-TALK. The phone number, 800-765-8255. You can text us, 304-TALK, 304. So let's get more of those text teams in, TJ.
I think one-term Patty Moronesi needs a data center in his backyard. Texter says, I hope this Ferris wheel was not built in China. The true locals of Tucker County are fed up with these implants that have formed Tucker United and these other organizations and individuals that move into our communities and want to keep it their mountain playground, says the texter. 304-TALK 304. Why consider raising the retirement age for Social Security? Cut our benefits on people that paid in all their lives. Cut benefits for people that have never paid in, says the texter. Hey, guys, Ethan uses a yellow highlighter to make notes on yellow Post-its, and then he wonders why he can't read them. Ethan leaves the radio on at his apartment so his little dog, Wendell, can listen to Talkline. Little Wendell's ear perks up every time you all mention Lou Wendell pontoon boats. Also, we need to change the name of Randy's Ridge to Maisie's Mountain, says the texter. Let's see here. A couple more. Gotta love how people say hate has no place just before spewing hate and slanderous rhetoric in their texts and their calls.
Texter says, guys, I sent this in a steam release at 11:33 and then again 11:51. Did it not get read? Something wrong? Here's the steam. Just how big of a mistake did we make in starting the Iran war? Is our proposed deal to end this war even a worse mistake? Certainly not an artful deal. Our original stated goals were regime change and unconditional surrender. Neither of these things is part of our 14-point memorandum of understanding to end the war. Text read. And you will get the final word. Big thanks to the gang today. Sophia on the audio side, intern Mila, and Zach, well, he's been here today. We appreciate that. TJ, relax, rest, read a book, play some golf, enjoy the fam, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. See you in a week.
All right. We'll be back Monday morning. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.